my channel. My name's Coy. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. I get excited when I get to make a video bragging about one of my favorite brands. I like to share the things that interest me and excite me. That tends to rub some of my friends the wrong way when I start talking about stuff like Ram and Dodge and stuff like that to my friends that like Ford stuff. So today I get to rub it in their face a little bit. I get some comments talking about how Dodge is poorly built and blah blah blah, or Ram is poorly built and blah blah blah. If you're familiar with my channel, you know how much of a fan of Mopar stuff that I am, whether it's Ram or Dodge, even Chrysler. I like the 300 quite a bit. I'm not a big fan of Jeep, but the big three to me would be Chrysler, Dodge, and Ram, obviously. So I was eating breakfast this morning and reading, different news sites like I do every morning as I get ready to start my day. And I read that Ram and Dodge took first and second place in the 2021 J.D. Power and Associates initial quality study. Now, what this is a survey taken by customers within the first 90 days of new vehicle ownership to determine how many problems they have per 100 vehicles sold. And it's a survey of auto manufacturers to determine how their build quality is on their cars. The infotainment system, paint job quality, engine build, and all that kind of stuff. Any kind of problem that you would have with your vehicle is reported in these surveys, and car manufacturers are ranked based on their problems per 100 vehicles sold. This year Ram came in #1, and they're the first truck-only brand to be ranked #1 in the J.D. Power initial quality study. Not surprising, because Ram and Dodge are basically joined at the hip. Dodge came in second place. I was kind of excited to see Mitsubishi tied with Lexus for third, considering Mitsubishi doesn't really do much for cars anymore. Before I was a Dodge fanboy, I was quite excited about Mitsubishi products. My first brand new car that I ever bought was in 2007, and that was a 2008 Mitsubishi Lancer, and I absolutely loved that car. Prior to that, I had a 2004 Mitsubishi Galant, and then after that, I had a 2008 Mitsubishi Outlander. I had a falling out with my local Mitsubishi dealership in 2010, I believe it was, and that's when I bought my first Dodge vehicle, and I never looked back. But it was nice to see Mitsubishi still holding on with quality, because I always did enjoy the quality of their cars. One of the things that did surprise me, being that Ram was #1 and Dodge was #2, was Jeep was down at #9, which is still top 10, which is pretty good, but Chrysler was dead last. It was kind of strange to see Chrysler dead last when they're basically built on the same platform as Dodge. That was a little strange, but Dodge and Chrysler, despite being owned by the same parent company, are different brands, as is Jeep. They're not the same company. They have their own CEOs, they have their own factories and stuff like that. They're not the same company, despite being owned by the same parent company. Speaking of companies owned by the same parent company, Alfa Romeo was way down at number 29, which is not surprising to me. I'm not a fan of import cars, especially European cars in general. I find that their build quality is usually pretty poor, and I read a lot of news stories and see a lot of videos all the time about poor quality, a lot of issues coming out of European cars in general. We had a couple of Jaguars, and I'm not going to go into it. This is about Ram and Dodge, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of European cars in general. One of the things I found interesting is Tesla wasn't a part of the study in its entirety, because Tesla doesn't allow access to their customer information in 15 states. So they basically were only evaluated in 35 states and still ranked near the bottom. My wife has shown interest in Tesla for quite a bit, and I've been open to that, especially with the Tesla Model S Plaid, seeming like it's going to be an earth scorcher. But more often than not, when I read about Tesla, I'm reading about build quality, and I just don't want to get involved in it. Now that Dodge is working on their own electrification, I think I'll just hold out until 2024 and see what Dodge has to offer when it comes to the electric vehicles. So yeah, Ram #1, Dodge #2. I've owned nothing but Dodge, Ram, or Chrysler products since 2010. In a little over 11 years, I've owned 15 or 16 different Dodge or Ram or Chrysler vehicles. And I get jokes from friends all the time about how poor quality they are. I've had comments, messages from Instagram, people talking about Dodge being poor quality. But in my experience, I've not had issues with the brand as a whole very often. The only car that I had a lot of issues with was a 2013 Dodge Dart I bought the year that they brought the Dart back. Now that car had 2 engines and a whole boatload of problems in the 6 years that I owned it, and I ended up selling it last year. But that, out of all the cars that I've owned, Dodge or Ram or Chrysler based, no issues other than that. Like, I mean, I've bought both used and new Dodge and Ram and Chrysler products, and like I said, I've always had good experiences. There are minor hiccups here and there, like I've spoken about in some of my review videos, but nothing major. And I always felt like the build quality of these cars are excellent. Ram has really led the way in interior and infotainment in these trucks the past several years, and it looks like other companies are finally scrambling to pick up the pace and to try to get on their level. And so I was really happy to see Ram step it up and hit that #1 spot. That I'm a Mopar fanboy, and Ram is my favorite truck brand. There's no way I'd buy a Ford over a Ram truck. There's just no way. You could give me a Ford truck, or I could buy a Ram truck, and I'd still prefer Ram over Ford. So it's just not going to happen. I would sell the Ford and buy a Ram if it was given to me. But anyway, yeah, Ram #1, Dodge #2, and Chrysler dead last. That seems kind of funny, but it is what it is. If you guys like this video, if you found it informative, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell so you get notified for all the videos. I appreciate you guys watching, and y'all take it easy.